Track 8. Unit 4. Listening. Exercise 1. Listen and choose the best answers.
My guest today on Radio Poetry is Gregory Thompson. Welcome to the programme, Gregory.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You're interested in the romantic poets, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I find their poetry and lives very interesting. I first read Coleridge's Kubla Khan at school. I then read more of his poems and those of his friend, the poet William Wordsworth, and I studied the romantic poets at university.
So your main interest is in Coleridge and Wordsworth?
Well, it was, but now Dorothy Wordsworth, William's sister, fascinates me.
Can you tell me why?
First, let me tell you a bit about the family. There were 5 children, and their father died when Dorothy was 12 years old. After that, she went away to school, and then, when she was a young woman, she lived with different members of the family.
Was William with her?
No, at that time he wasn't. The family didn't have a lot of money, so the children couldn't be together. It wasn't unusual then for poor relations to go and live with grandparents, aunts, uncles and so on. Dorothy finally lived with her brother again when she was in her 20s, and after that she spent her life looking after him. She never got married.
But why are you interested in her? She doesn't sound very interesting.
Well, in the 1930s, about 80 years after she died, someone found her diaries. These are extraordinary. She wrote about her day-to-day life, nature, her poet brother, and their famous friends like Samuel Coleridge and Sir Walter Scott. When you read the diaries, you learn a lot about how much she helped her brother. In fact, he sometimes used her ideas in his poems.
As they say, behind every great man there is a great woman.
I'm sorry, what?
Behind every great man there is a great woman. I mean, Wordsworth could write poems and be famous because she looked after him and the home.
Oh, yes, but that's what most women did then.
Indeed. Did Dorothy publish anything when she was alive?
No, she didn't. It is clear in her diaries that she didn't want to be famous. Her job was to look after her brother so he could write. No one outside her family read her diaries until the 20th century. However, as I said, William used some of her notes and ideas in his poems.
So what happened to Dorothy?
Sadly, during the last part of her life, she had serious health problems. She died in 1855, 5 years after her brother. It's only this century that people learned about how much she helped one of our greatest poets.
Can we read her diaries?
Yes, of course you can. You can buy them in any good bookshop.
Well, I think our listeners will be interested to find out more when they read these. Thank you for coming into the studio. And next we'll be playing a little music.